Yeah, it's different, but it is. I don't have talent for that either. Okay, so you're gonna follow me here. Okay. So just recap when we talked about the Electoral College. How do we determine how many electors the state has? House plus Senate. Total number of members of Congress, House plus Senate, right? Okay. Now, that's good. You need 270 to win, right? You need to have a majority. If there's no majority, who decides? The House, right? You got to get 26 of the states based on House votes to determine the winner, okay? Which leads us kind of into the last part of this, which is the last page of the notes I gave you. The positives of the Electoral College, and then some of the problems with the Electoral College, and that's all we're going to cover today, okay? So, positives, all right? Forces a candidate to have large support over the whole country, okay? Now, most of you, if I recall correctly, tend to be on the conservative side of things, okay? Well, when we did the thing at the beginning of the year, okay? So if we come back here, guys, you can see, now this is an election won by Barack Obama, fairly big, so 2012, I don't know, they got the totals up here, I don't know, they don't have the totals up here. But Obama, in this election, won North Carolina, okay, and Virginia, okay? But he also got, Iowa, Colorado, New Mexico, kind of got out into the Midwest a little bit, okay? And then, of course, won Florida. In order to win the presidency, you need to have support kind of not just on the coasts, right? Not just here. You're going to have to pull something from the middle. And for Republicans to win, they can't just have the South and the middle. They got to get something on the coast, okay? So candidates have to have broad support in order to win the presidency, generally. That's a positive thing with the Electoral College, okay? If you didn't have the Electoral College and you went with the popular vote, where would candidates go to campaign? They would go to where the people are. Now, for you people that might be conservative in here, I think it would be very unlikely we'd ever elect another conservative president if we went with the popular vote. Because the Republican candidate would have to tailor their message to the populations, to the big populated areas, because they're going to want to go there for votes as well. I mean, you can hang out in North Dakota and campaign in North Dakota with the message that North Dakotans want to hear, but it's not going to win you Florida, or it may not win you New York, or it may not win you Virginia. You understand? So I think it makes it really difficult for a conservative candidate to win if you do away with the Electoral College. Okay? So you can come up with a strategy, a message that is attractive to people, say in Indiana, but also in Louisiana. Okay? And so, it's just one of those things. Okay? So that's a positive that candidates have to kind of go and get a lot of the whole country. It does reduce corruption. Okay, so in many states where you have strict voter laws like Kansas, where you have to show an ID to vote, okay, it's going to be pretty hard to cheat. Okay, in states where they have more lax or easier ways to vote, and guys, in 2020, we saw this. Because of COVID and the pandemic, you still have people, you see them in the shopping, at grocery stores, still wearing masks, right? People that did not want to go out in public, be around other people. So the state legislatures make the laws for the elections in each state. Guys, they just said, you know what? We're going to send ballots to everybody in the state. And there's this thing called ballot harvesting. Okay, so what you do is you go into an apartment complex with, thousands of people. Everybody in that apartment complex got a ballot mailed to their address. And you knock on people's doors, say, hey, did you fill out your ballot? Oh, Oh, you didn't? Oh, well, here, go ahead and fill it out. We'll take it and we'll turn it in for you. So you go around and you harvest the ballots, and it's legal in some states to do this, and then go turn the ballots in for other people. Okay? Some states have said, hey, we're not doing that again. Okay? Again, it depends on who controls the state legislature. Okay, so the Republican Party's like, we need to wake up. If we're going to have these laws where you can ballot harvest and send ballots to every address and phone book, we need to get in on this game, because this is how the Democrats won in 2020. Okay, so it does reduce corruption. If there is corruption in Illinois, in Chicago, or in Philadelphia, it doesn't affect your vote in Kansas. Okay, that's one of the positives of the Electoral College. Okay, it reduces corruption, or at least isolates it, if that makes sense. Okay, another one is that it acts as a safety net against an ignorant electorate. Just love saying that, you know, an ignorant electorate. Okay, these electors, so the 6 that come from Kansas, Republican candidate wins the popular vote, they get all 6. So your 6 Republican electors are going to vote. Can they change their vote? Yes, they can. Okay, so let's say between the time of the election, the time of inauguration, or when they cast their ballot, the electors cast their ballot, there's a huge scandal. Something comes out about the candidate that won, like this person lied or did something or broke the law or something like that. These electors can change their vote. They do not have to go off of what the state, how the state voted. Okay, this has happened 10 times. Okay, now in 2016, guys, after I turn off this video, I'll show you a little video clip. There was a group of celebrities after Trump won the election in 2016, before the electors voted, that bunch of celebrities like TV actors that you recognize some of them, okay? And they're all asking these electors from Kansas and from Alabama and from Texas, hey, Donald Trump is not qualified to be president. We're not asking you to vote for Hillary Clinton, but we're asking you to vote for a different candidate. Donald Trump is not okay for this job. Okay, and it's actually quite funny to watch the video because they're groveling. I mean, it's okay. Whatever your thoughts are on Trump, it's kind of funny. Okay, to me it is. So they can change their vote. In fact, one did change their vote, 2016, but it was a Hillary elector. Now that elector didn't vote for Trump; they voted for a third-party candidate. Okay, so they can do that. It could affect the impact the outcome of the election. It never has. Okay, but it could, which is going to also be one of the negatives. Okay, so the Electoral College can act, if there's an ignorant electorate, they can change their vote. Okay, at the same time, there are some problems with this. Okay, like the fact that if you win California by one single vote, you get all 55 electors. You know what I mean? Like, millions of people voted for the other candidate, yet they came up one vote short. They get all of them. Okay, so some people think that's not a good thing. Okay, another one here is, guys, our least populated states like Wyoming, North Dakota, and Alaska. Remember how each district in Kansas, the 4 districts, have 758,000. Well, what if Wyoming only has 600,000 people? They still get 3 electors. So it's kind of like these small states actually have more say per person than the big states. You guys follow that? Like their vote kind of actually counts more. And to some that seems wrong, okay? The counter to that is, guys, when they wrote the Constitution and developed this college, okay, they did it because they wanted the states to have a say. Okay, we're not a democracy. Right? Popular vote would be a democracy. Be very democratic. Now, we use democracy in the states. We all get to vote in the states, which is not collectively as the population. The states have a say. Okay. So another downside of the Electoral College is that the winner of the popular vote doesn't always win the election. This has happened now 5 times. I have it in here. Okay. Andrew Jackson was elected without winning the popular vote. Wait, no. Jackson won the popular vote, didn't win the election. Hayes, they went on to win other elections. Guys became president. Okay. Hayes won the popular vote, didn't win the Electoral College. Grover Cleveland, same thing. Al Gore, it happened to in 2000. Won the popular vote. Bush won the Electoral College. And Hillary Clinton beat Trump by over 3 million votes. Okay. But lost the Electoral College. So this is a criticism that most people voted for Hillary. She should have been president. That's not what the Constitution says. Okay. The last one is, I talked about the electors being able to change their vote. Okay. And then if there's a strong third party, like say, we came up with a third party, the Constitution Party. Okay. And it was like a third, and a third. Okay. Then we'd wind up with the House choosing the president almost every time, instead of the Electoral College choosing the House. Remember, if there's a tie or nobody gets to 270, the House elects the president. That was Jefferson and John Quincy Adams. Remember, I did the 26 state. You got to have 26 states. Yeah, I did this. Okay. So those are all good criticisms of the Electoral College. Okay. But in the end, listen, in order to change this, and there's a lot of people that don't like the Electoral College. You're going to have to change the Constitution. You're going to need a constitutional amendment. Now, you're going to have to get 2/3 of both houses of Congress to propose that, or do the Colt thing, okay, with the National Convention of the States, okay, which is a convention of the states. The states want to retain power. They're not going to give up the Electoral College. You got to have 38 states ratify. That's not going to happen. North Dakota, Kansas, these small states are not going to vote to take away their own power. Does that make sense? It's never going to happen. So you can bitch and complain about the Electoral College all you want. It's not going to change. Now, states can change how they do it, like Nebraska and Maine. Okay? Now, there are some other ideas that I have in here. The fact that it's never going to happen, that's why I'm not putting it on the test. Okay? But there are some ideas. Let me go over these real quick. Okay? Direct election is the popular vote. Okay? Good, it's democratic. Well, I don't know. That's good. Talk about ignorant electorate. Okay. Bad, it hurts the small states. Yes, most of the population lives in 8 states or within 50 miles of the coasts or the Great Lakes. Okay. Certain groups would lose power. Like African Americans have a big influence in Chicago. They carry Illinois. That gives them a lot of power. Okay. So that would go away. Okay. The district plan, now this is actually not a terrible idea. The winner of the state gets 2 Electoral College votes, and then 1 vote for every congressional district. So remember, the 4 districts that I've drawn in Kansas. You got the 4th district that we live in, we get 1 Electoral College vote. The big 1 gets 1, 2 and 3 get 1. And then the winner of the popular vote gets 2 from that state. Okay. Now, in Kansas, that would likely turn out that the Republican candidate gets 5, the Democratic candidate gets 1. Now, in California, this would help Republicans. Yes? Because Republicans are actually going to win some of these. Like maybe 20. Okay? Texas, Democrats are going to win some of these. New York, Republicans are going to win some of these. Right? Same thing in Florida. It's not winner take all. It's like what these states do, except Nebraska would only have 3 districts, and then the winner of Nebraska would get 2. The whole state. You guys follow that? Okay. It's a pretty good idea, but guess what? Gerrymandering would become intense. It's already intense, right? Like the way you draw those districts in your state is going to have a huge impact on the outcome of the presidential election. Not just Congress, not just the House, but the presidential election. Big time. Okay. So it's an interesting idea. Again, not gonna happen, okay? Proportional plan, terrible idea. Okay, so let's say Republicans win 40% of the popular vote in California. Republicans get 40% of these electors, Democrats get 60% of these electors. Well, dude, you're gonna have to be rounding up and rounding down, trying to figure out, how you do that, and it's gonna be a mess, okay? It's just a bad idea. And then this national bonus plan is just stupid, okay? You add 102 college votes to whoever wins the popular vote. Yeah, all right, so those are interesting ideas, but again, not gonna happen in our lifetime, I don't think, okay? So, that's a good wrap on the Electoral College and Section 5, okay? So Monday, we'll have review day. I'll have review sheets for you if you didn't print one off. It's almost all in here. I tell you guys about optional economics portion on the test. You guys can choose to do it or not. It's not hard. Some of you could do it right now. All right. Probably most of you could do it right now. You can get all 6 right. Okay. It's up to you. If I had more time, I'd get into that economics section, but it's kind of self-learning if you do. Okay. So, that's it. Good. Stop this.